Hahn-Tech Premium Trading Tools, professional quality tools designed to sharpen your edges. Hi guys, welcome to the video, Thinkorswim Risk Reward Drawing Tool. I just wanted to give you a quick heads up before we get started here that you may be viewing this video linked from some other source. This video is just one of a series of 6 videos in a playlist that is designed to showcase our premium volume profile and TPO profile indicators for Thinkorswim. So this video is also meant to be a standalone video just to show you guys how to use this drawing tool on Thinkorswim to measure your risk reward for various trade setups right directly on your charts. So if this video seems a little bit out of place and during the video I'm mentioning other sections of the video while you are viewing this one, well, that's the reason. There's a playlist. And just wanted to give you a heads up. Here's the entire list of videos in the playlist, and you can get to this from our Hahn-Tech website, and I'll show you how to get there. But first, let me explain the videos that are in the playlist. Okay, the first video is the overview, Thinkorswim Volume and TPO Profile version 4. Then we have the video on Thinkorswim Volume, TPO Profile, Support and Resistance. Then we have this video that you're watching now, followed by 3 other videos that are related to installation and setup, adjusting the settings, as well as demonstrating how to work the scans and the watch list columns. So how do you get to the playlist? If you've arrived at this video through some other means, then you go ahead and go to Hahn-Tech website. That's hahn-tech.com. You go to Premium Indicators and select Thinkorswim Premium Trading Tools. And you come down here and you select the demo video link. Okay, you can either do that from the volume profile that you see on the left here or the TPO profile that you see on the right. We have one demo video that covers both of them. They're 2 separate indicators. Just click that demo video and it'll take you to the web page of our site that hosts the playlists that we publish on YouTube. Okay guys, with that introduction, let's dig right into the details. Okay, now we're going to take another big shift in the gears here. We're going to go in a completely different direction, and we're going to show you some risk-reward ratios. I got a really neat trick here, and if you get nothing else out of this video, you're really going to enjoy this part of the video here because I'm going to show you how to make use of a tool that comes built into every trading platform. I'm going to show you how you can use that to measure your risk-reward on the chart. It just all you do, it's a drawing tool, and everybody has access to it, but I'm going to show you how to configure it. And on Thinkorswim, I'm going to show you how to create different versions of this tool and save those settings for future use. And that's what we're going to get into next. Okay, but the main concept that I want you to understand from this is we're looking for blue sky. Okay, blue sky means room to grow. I'm going to show you what that looks like on the chart. For scalping trades, all right, generally you want to look at a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So you risk a tick to make a tick, you know, or you risk 5 to make 5. Okay, scalping trades are intended to be a high win rate. And so you're able to then use an equal amount of risk and reward. Okay, but most trend following trades, okay, are of a much lower win rate. In other words, with a trend following trade, you're usually wrong more often than you're right. And so you need to make more than your risk on average. So if you have a risk of 5 ticks, you need to have a target of 10 ticks. If you're risking 10 ticks, you need to have a target of 20 ticks or 30 or 40 ticks. You've got to evaluate it based upon your own risk tolerance and investment goals. But when it comes to trend following, I can tell you that you're going to be wrong more often than you're right. And in order to make up for that, you must keep a tight stop and a large profit. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. I'm going to show you how to use that tool, set it up, and I'm going to show you some areas of blue sky using this indicator on the charts. Okay, so we're back at Thinkorswim. I'm going to start off with a blank chart. I'm going to just enter a ticker symbol of SPX. It doesn't matter what ticker symbol we use here. I just want you to pick whatever one is you're familiar with and will remember to use. And what we want to do is set that to a monthly time frame. This is set to weekly right now, so let's go ahead and change that to a monthly. And so a monthly, why a monthly time frame? Well, because a monthly time frame doesn't change very often. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this to store our Fibonacci levels. The Fibonacci drawing tool is the tool that we're going to be using for measuring our risk reward and identifying areas where we can find blue sky or room to grow for our trades. So we're going to go ahead and create a new drawing set. So I'm going to click down here in the bottom right and I'm going to select Create Drawing Set. I'm just going to name it fib settings so it doesn't interfere with any of my other drawing sets. So we've created that, and I'm going to select the fib drawing tool. Okay, and we'll go ahead and draw a Fibonacci here, and this is the standard settings that I use for my Fibonacci's when I'm using it as a retracement tool. And we just go ahead and place that there on the chart. And now because we've set that to a drawing set of fib settings, it's going to be there for us months later when we want to go ahead and grab that tool and use it again. Now I want to show you how to modify this so that it works as a tool that you can use for measuring your risk reward. So we're going to go ahead and draw another tool, and then we're going to edit the properties. We're going to go ahead and update this. We're going to uncheck all of these. Okay, and it's just easier this way to just uncheck everything. We're going to be checking some of those again. The top one, I'm going to set that to -3, and that's going to represent 300%, really, 3 times your risk. Okay, 200 is going to be the next one. You can put whatever values you want in here, but that needs to be, actually, I screwed that up, needs to be a -2. And then I want to have something like -1.5. And then we'll make this one -1. And then we go ahead and check those boxes and hit OK. And then we go ahead and take a look at the result. We can activate that drawing, and we can drag that back down here so you can see if you were to have a risk, let's just say a risk from here to here, okay, then your 100% target would be here, your 150% target would be here, your 2 times your risk would be here, and this up here would be your 3 times your risk. Okay, so you can see now that you can go ahead and draw that. It'll make a lot more sense once we get to the chart and I show you where we might place a stop loss order and trail that, and then help you identify, how that fits within the blue sky available on the chart. Don't worry, it's all going to make sense. I'm just going to show you these little basic steps here first. The other thing that I want to show you is how we can create another one. Let's do another one over here. And this one is going to be for scalping. So I'm going to edit properties. And actually, it's going to be faster if I do this one. If you press Control-Z after entering a drawing on the chart, it will disappear. Oh, that's a really handy tip to know. And so what I'll do is go ahead and right-click and select Duplicate Drawing. And we'll quickly drag that over here. So now we've got a duplicate of that. Then we right-click and select Edit Properties. We're going to uncheck everything up here, okay? And for the scalping, we're going to use a positive value, okay? So I'm just going to put a positive 1 here and maybe make this one a positive 1.5. That's it for scalping. If you're trying to go 2 times your risk on scalping, you're probably doing it wrong. I'm just guessing, but you can set whatever values you want here, all right? That's the beauty of it. Even if you want to set it to a 0.5, if you wanted to set that up too, go ahead and do that, but it's up to you. So we're going to hit OK there, and so you can see now the values are below the Fibonacci tool instead of above. And all that's going to make more sense when we get to the chart, so bear with me. So how do you switch between these 3, right? So now you've got the 3 set up here, okay? So now how do you switch between the 3? If you draw a new one, you're going to have the default, okay? You see all those levels right there? So how do you switch? All right, so what you do is you right-click, select Edit Properties. You see those are the ones we modified. Select Save as Default. Save as Default, hit OK, and now every time you use that tool, it's going to draw your levels just as you have here, okay, with your profit targets instead of your Fibonacci retracements. All right, press Control-Z and that goes away. Now let's say you want to utilize this one. Right-click, select Edit Properties, Save as Default, hit OK, and now you go ahead and draw your tool and it's going to show up just like that, okay? And one thing I just noticed here is this is not really giving us our 100%. We need to really do something a little different here. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that out. I'm going to press Control-Z, and then we're going to go over here and update this, Edit Properties. And really what we need to do is, in order for us to have this set up correctly, okay, we're going to need it set up like this, okay? It'll make sense here in a little bit. You see now I've changed it, I've doubled it actually. So from 1 to 2, and then I changed the 1.5 to 2.5. We'll hit OK, because what happens is these are the points. Let's go ahead and activate this drawing. Okay, these are the points, okay, of your risk. Okay, so you've got your entry and your risk. Okay, and based on your entry and your risk, okay, the 200% is actually your 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, the 200%, it's just the way the fib tool works. I'm sorry that it's this way. If it's confusing, you'll get used to it, trust me. Okay, so then we go ahead and we can edit properties and select save as default, hit OK, and then we can use that in any way that we want. If we draw it this way, we'll get our levels below. If we draw it this other way, then we'll get our levels above. Okay, and so I'll go ahead and Control Z to clear that out. So we've got 3 different tools to choose from here, and now let's go ahead and load the indicator on the charts, and we can then show you how to make use of this tool to evaluate your trading opportunities using this indicator. Okay, and here we have a side-by-side view. On the left is the volume profile indicator, on the right is the TPO profile indicator. You notice that many of the levels are very close to one another, and I'll let you go ahead and review that on your own. I don't want to go into much detail here. I've already shown you the comparison between them. But let's go ahead and open this up and maximize that. So we're looking at the volume profile indicator. And let's find a section of the chart where we might have a trend following trade to catch, to latch onto. Let's go ahead and zoom into this one here, and let's identify a potential trade. Okay, so let's say we wanted to wait until we got above the previous day high, okay, and held that as support, and then we had a potential trade right here, and we want to have our trailing stop follow along the green lines right here of the slow moving average. Okay, so we go ahead and take our tool. Now all I've done is I've set aside that chart where we saved all of those different Fibonacci settings, and I'm saving as default the one that I want to use for trend following. And so now we can go ahead and we can look at this right here. Okay, is the point of pulling back, and maybe at the close of this bar might have been an opportunity, more or less at the close of this bar, because we closed above the moving averages, that would probably be more realistic. And so we want to start our drawing down here below where that risk is, right? If we start our stop loss level at this level right here, and we have our entry right here, then we can see, do we have enough blue sky, okay, to get more than 100% of our risk? In other words, there's our 100% level, okay, we achieved that, but are we going to be able to get to our really ideal level of 2 times our risk or 3 times our risk? Well, in this case, we have R2, and R2, as you can see, formed resistance here, and we pulled back, and if we were trailing those dots as our stop loss, then we would have got probably stopped out here, most certainly here. Okay, and again, this is not a trade recommendation. I'm not teaching you how to trade. All I'm giving you is some tools and some ideas on how to use these tools to fit your own goals. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. So we got above R2 here, so this might be another potential trade. So you might say, okay, now that we've cleared that, let's go ahead and try to buy a pullback. Let's say right here, we pull back to the 8 EMA. So where's our risk? Our risk is down here. And so our risk would be down here. So we go ahead and draw that from here up to that pullback level here. And then we look to see how much blue sky do we have? We got a lot of blue sky. Now, what probably happened up here, we probably hit the daily ATR 120, and that is another indicator that I have for sale on our website. It's the daily ATR levels study, and that is one that is also very strong for support and resistance. You saw that on the spreadsheet that I presented earlier. And so this is one method that you might identify a potential profit, okay, because you've got nothing but blue sky above. So here's how you measure, okay, there's where your risk is starting, and that's where your entry point is, and that's how you use this tool to determine where you have to get a profit to meet your investment goals, okay? You have to adjust these settings yourself. You have to pick your own values. You yourself have to do the back testing and understand what works for you. I'm just showing you how to use the tool. Now I've got a lot of other examples that I've already done, so let's go ahead and look at those. And again, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time here on this because I've got a lot of material to cover in the video, but I did want you to understand how you can use these tools to evaluate your opportunities. You can see here, if you put the stop loss here and you enter at the close of this bar because it broke support, okay, and the dots are red, and you have a potential to make 1-to-1 on your risk. That might not be a very good trade if you're trying to get a trend running system, okay? Over here as comparison, okay, if you got in over here, you've already breached that line of support. Now it's really muddied up, and that's another principle. All right, first touch is strong, second touch is weaker, third touch, it goes through like a hot knife in butter. And so here is your risk, okay, potentially. If you choose to decide to use that as your risk, then you might have an opportunity for entry here. And using this tool, you can identify that you might have an opportunity to get 3 times your risk on that trade. And that's how you use this tool. Again, I'm not telling you this is how you trade using this indicator. I'm giving you ideas on how to use the tool to your advantage and how to set it up to fit your own preferences, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at another example that I've previously done here. Let's go ahead and take a look at these two, okay? So let's look at this one here. Is another example here. You've got a potential entry here with your risk here, okay, and a potential entry here. You know, well, where's your support? Your support is here, and if you look down here is your 1-to-1. You'd have to get all the way down here before you're making double your risk on this particular trade. So you can see how useful this tool is at evaluating your risk reward. It's really what this is showing you here. I hope that's not being missed by you guys, and I hope you understand that the tool that I'm showing you is a tool that helps you understand how to evaluate your risk for a given trade entry, okay, like this one here. Okay, and where you might be able to get at least 2 times your risk for a trend following trade. Because if you don't have blue sky, okay, in other words, if you've got a support or resistance level before you get to 2 times your risk, do you really want to take that trade? Do you really want to take that trade? That's what you need to ask yourself. Okay, here's an example here. If you put your risk over here and you enter here, okay, do you have enough blue sky to make a profit target that is acceptable? Okay, you have to decide that for yourself. Right here you see you've got at least 1.5 times your risk, maybe 1 3/4. Okay, and so let's go ahead and take a look at some more examples here. Okay, here's another example right here. So let's say you have a break right here that you want to trade, and where is your risk? Okay, you put your risk wherever it is you feel comfortable, knowing that you can, trying to think that you might want to try to hold on to the trade while you're waiting for the price to continue moving in your direction. And then what does that do for your potential profit? Well, you got a resistance level right here, and we already know that that resistance level is very strong. And in fact, you've got a signal right here on the chart showing that price is being resisted at that level. And so that might be a heads up for you if you decided to get into this trade, or maybe you got in a little earlier. When you see that signal, you might be thinking, boy, I better think about maybe taking some profits right here, okay, because we're hitting the limit, right, of resistance. Okay, again, I'm not showing you how to make trades using this indicator. I'm really just giving you some suggestions on how to make the best use of the tools available to you. And I hope that this is helpful and helps you understand that you've got some really good tools available to you here. Especially this Fibonacci tool is pretty much built in. I want to show you one example of potential scalping. And let's zoom out here, and I want to zoom in on this section right here, okay? I want to show you one potential, okay? Now notice this. Wouldn't you have loved to have been able to know ahead of time that the market was going to be stuck in this range? Well, nobody knows that. But this indicator gives you some tools to help you identify when that potentially might happen, okay? Especially after you see, 2 or 3 of these, you think, well, it's either going to break out or it's going to be stuck in this range. So let's go ahead and grab a different version of our tool. So I'm over here on a different chart, and I'm going to set as default the scalping tool. And so let's say this is how I want you to understand how the scalping tool is set up to work. All right, you say, all right, I'm going to enter here, okay, just below that potential resistance level, knowing that it may blow right through that. Well, where's my potential profit? It's down here at support. So if you want to trade this range and scalp, so where do you have to place your stop in order to get to your profit target? Okay, so remember, it says 200%, but that's really 1 times your risk. Okay, again, don't get confused there. All right, 200% using the Fibonacci tool is 1 times your risk. So if you measure the distance from your potential entry here to this theoretical stop loss, all right, just at this other resistance level, then you have here a potential for 1 times your risk. Now let's say you turn around and you buy down here. Let's go ahead and put some more area on the chart here so we got room to draw our tool. So now you go ahead and look at this and you say, okay, I'm going to buy down here, and I'm going to look to see where my risk has to be, where do my stop loss have to be in order for me to be able to make 1 times my potential profit. So now if you can afford to keep your stop even shorter than that, okay, let's just say you want to do it half as much, then that's up to you, totally up to you. But at least you understand now how to use the Fibonacci drawing tool, as I've shown you how to set it up and save those settings and change them at will. Now you understand how you can use this for identifying your potential scalping setups, okay? So here's another example here, and I'm just going to continue to draw these out so you understand how that tool is intended to be used according to how I'm teaching it. Okay? Okay, and as we close out this video, I just want to give everyone a quick reminder of where we're at in the playlist. If you're watching these videos in the list that I recommend, then we are right here on the video called Thinkorswim Risk Reward Drawing Tool. And next up is Thinkorswim Volume and TPO Profile Installation. So the next video in the series is going to show you the installation and setup. If you have not already purchased these indicators, then the next video really will only be for demonstration purposes only. You really won't be able to help you make use of these tools until you complete the purchase. So just keep that in mind. The video playlist is organized so that we introduce the indicator first and show what it can do before we show you how to do the installation and setup, how to adjust the settings, and how to use the scan and watch list columns. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope that it has given you additional tools to make your trading more effective, and I thank you for your support. Take care, everyone.